2, 1.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode
what was
of
that
It's on
white
Us
ass voice you
podcast.
just put on?
Today's episode, we got Cliff, myself, John, Gabriel, and Ash.
Whoa.
I went there
See,
today.
I'm gonna be real. I already knew from the moment he put on the animated voice. I'm like, he is speaking straight brother to me.
See, so why is that though? It's like that's code switching. Right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
How often
That's
do you
the-
code switch?
That's the real definition of
Oh, I did not know. I just do it to be silly.
So like,
yeah, okay.
No,
you are yourself, but how often do you code switch though?
okay.
Like, say for an interview.
So let's say dead ass. What does code switching mean?
So like, how you just came on the camera and
Oh,
you're
just
a different
switch it
person
up?
than what you're.
Oh, I don't know. I just, like I said, I do it to be silly. I don't do it for any particular reason.
Well, in a way too, like acting, like you,
Yeah.
like I saw like Leonardo DiCaprio, like he was sitting there, and then the camera came on, he got in his.
Acting, yeah, but I don't know. I just do it to be silly. Just do it to be different, to spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
I switch my voice with Parker and Lola when they're at my house.
I mean, they're kids though, so I understand.
Yeah,
that.
like, yeah,
But
just-
for like a professional thing, like.
Like, I don't do, like, this is the only time I do it is when I do an intro.
Wait,
As far as us.
Wait, so what? Did you see the Vibes episode where Jacob was there and he like changed his voice?
Oh yeah, that was bad.
that was
Weird,
so
yeah.
weird. It was so weird, and they were like even like weirded out
Yeah.
about it, but they were like
The unreleased.
really in the vault.
The vault.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, right,
Man,
it was
are you
bad.
happy that they didn't release that because of you?
No, I felt like a dumbass. That's one of the times
It's
where I was
okay.
like, ooh, I overdid it. I try to overdo it, but hey, we live and we learn. No one's
As
perfect.
That is good
podcasters-
support, man.
As podcasters, we put weekly episodes out, and some of them are good and some of them aren't. You
Right.
know,
And it's hard. Like, that's something I don't think we've ever talked to our audience about, like we will today, is like just the process of starting a podcast, the due diligence you have to do, whether it's bringing on a guest or the equipment you have, or the right setup for the room and stuff like that. Like, I think that a lot of that stuff gets overlooked.
absolutely.
Yes.
So
what's one advice you would give to someone who wants to pursue a podcast? Because a lot of people have an idea, like, I want to start a podcast. What's the first thing you tell
Yeah,
them?
what's the first thing you buy too at the same time?
well, first you got to have that conversation. I forgot to shout out that humidifier. Can you go get that humidifier, Cliff?
Gotcha.
But shit, one of the things that you have to be aware of is just have the conversation first. Like, whether you got a game plan, if it's going to be a multiple person podcast or maybe just you, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. What's your message? What's your audience?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. What's going to be the purpose of your show? Because at the end of the day, you really got to figure out what your niche is going to be, and you don't want to like overdo it, but you also want to be true to yourselves. So first, you got to decide, okay, what audience am I doing? If it's a show with more than one person, then you got to figure out your co-host, or okay, how are we going to facilitate this?
Mhm, the scheduling.
The scheduling, because I mean, look at us. We got 5 people.
This is the first time we've had the 5 of us
In a while.
You probably can see in a while. So
It's been like months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it goes a lot based off schedule. Like, okay, can he make it? Or right now his car is down and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, well, I got his back. So there, you got to work out scheduling and stuff like that. But yeah, first have conversations with people.
and I would even think like a budget is something like to talk about too. Like
Mm.
like the equipment, we've talked about it a little bit before. Like our first set of equipment was not cheap, but it wasn't like still pricey. But it
How
was
much
like
do we spend?
the first set of equipment. It was a 6-person because
We'll
we
be
had 6.
transparent with you guys.
Yeah, we had a 6-person podcast to start, and then we put in, I think it was like $600, and it was for the whole thing, for a soundboard, for mics, for cords, for all this shit, and it was dog ass equipment.
Shit.
Terrible, and it was $600. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's significant, but we all split it, accordingly, and
Right.
then ended up we were able to return everything, and then we upgraded by virtue of like literally one of these microphones was from a garage sale for $5. One of these microphone stands was like $3 at a garage sale, but some of this stuff was brand new. The mixer was like $300. The microphones themselves, these microphones are like $200 microphones.
Right. Right.
So having that budget in mind to if it's,
Placing the cords and shit.
Placing cords.
yeah. The furniture, if you want to have anything like
And I think that's next thing is
Decals, backdrops.
well, I think that we kind of skipped a couple things. Is like first, then after like you figure out equipment, like okay, this equipment might work, but then you gotta figure out location.
yeah.
Like for us, we're lucky enough to where like Ash was like, okay, we can use my basement. But like as a backup, like I even offered my garage or someplace where we could rent out a library. Like you gotta figure out, okay, I have this idea, I have this equipment. Where can I go to record? And that right there sometimes can be a very big issue. Just because it could be Europe. You could be the only person, but you could realize, oh shit, I don't have the space at my location to do this.
And this is even hitting the play button, the record button. This is not.
Right.
This is not editing.
This is just planning still. So it's like I think people got to realize, hey, look. Let me think what my audience will be first. Second, okay, what equipment should I invest in? You shouldn't think about it as buying, like Ash thinks. Like, you shouldn't think about as buying something. You're investing in something you want to do. And then after that, okay, location. Let's hammer out a location and see what sounds good acoustically, because I think that's something
you
that
ain't
we've
even
all
got
learned.
to the main part. You still need a fucking name.
Yeah,
You gotta come up with I think the first step is the theme.
Yeah,
you
theme.
think you have to. Yeah, you need to know what you're talking about.
Who you're talking to?
Yes.
Like you want to talk about sports, you need you talk about sports, music,
Right.
fashion, so on and so forth.
And at the same time too, you got to be like knowledgeable in those fields. You can't
exactly.
just,
you can't just be
turn it
no
on.
average person. Yeah, you can't just say like, oh, you think you know anything about like Hot Wheel cars, and then start.
Right.
You know what I mean? Start a podcast about Hot Wheels, and then, you get one like, oh, I've never seen this before. It's like, oh well. If you think you know
Right.
everything about it, you should definitely have seen this before or something
right.
like that.
Or at least be aware of it.
Right.
Because like, oh, go ahead. You was about to say something.
No, I was just saying, right. I agree with you. And
Like
then
I feel like if I were to start my own podcast about like shoes or something, like, and somebody were to like have me like grade their shoes or something like that, I should like I would know what to do. You know
Oh, yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you have
opposed to like sending me some shoes like I've never seen these Jordan colorway before. Like what are these? And
Right.
I mean, there's probably some that I don't know before. All of us, we were,
right.
what I mean?
You might not know them, but you're aware of them.
Right,
Like, oh,
yeah.
I've heard of these. I just didn't think I would ever see these bitches in real life. Like,
Right. And then, I mean, just to build off those, you need to pick something that's going to constantly keep you inspired and motivated. You
Right.
can't just pick something just because it's hot. You know what I mean? If it's not going to inspire you each week and motivate you to talk about it, then what's the point?
Yeah, we could talk about what's NFTs. If you made a
Right.
podcast for NFTs, and now
I bet
2
your
years later
shit's
it's like
you're like, fuck,
Tanking.
man. I don't
Yeah.
even know what this is anymore. But, so yeah, after you get your theme, your title, you invest in your equipment, you find a location, then it's like, hey, look, we could press the play button.
No, I still think there's
What
a
else?
couple
What
more
else?
things.
So, what's the goal of your podcast? What's the why
Yeah,
behind your podcast?
I think you still need.
Who is the show for?
Well, no, I said that goes in the pre-planning. Like
and
I
then
said,
how will your show stand out?
yeah, I said that first. Like you got to write everything down, your niche, what you're gonna find.
Yeah,
like
there's a
who-
million podcasts out there, but
Yeah.
what's going to separate your podcast from everyone else's?
Exactly. I said that's step number one.
But so then again, I think still. So
Going off your little list over there.
So I think you need guests. So then now you need to find like-minded people
Well, not
to
even
bring on.
so much guests because you got to figure out if your podcast is even want to entertain guests.
yeah, true.
Because you could just have a podcast. Oh shit!
Yeah, that's why I'm going to take these out. These are like super loud.
But yeah, you got to like figure out who you're going to have. Like, if you want a guest on a show, or if you want a guest-centric show, or just a show where you just talk about shit.
Well, I mean, you don't have to have. I feel like you could be like us. We don't always have guests on, but we, we fluctuate.
True.
But then I think that's another conversation that you're gonna have. Like, who do you want to have on? That's, let's say, I mean, like, depending on what you start your podcast on, you might not know anybody else that's in your field. Without
Right. Without
reaching out and
Right.
So after you figure out the goal, now you're setting up a format to follow what the
Yeah.
goal is, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's interview based, educational, science fiction, or whatever genre you want to go into, because even for us, like, we have guests on the show, and we have co-hosts, so any of us can like control the podcast.
Yeah.
But like for people who don't know, like having a co-host could be good and it could be bad.
Yeah.
It's a double head.
And that's
if
like,
you're not aligned with each other, and
yeah, because like you could go into like, and I think something is important too. Like I don't think anybody knows besides us like how many recordings we actually did before we even posted our first episode. Like we
Months.
I would
did
say
at
at
least
least like
20.
40, maybe.
Yeah.
There's some audio we were just. I want to go back and listen to those.
It's in your emails.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we did a shit ton of just audio recordings before we even went live.
And we're still kind of figuring out too as we go along. Again,
Yeah, we're 3 years into
3
this, and
years
we
in,
we
we're
still
learning.
learn new stuff.
'Cause now
like-
we're at the point where how long should a podcast be?
right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
What do you think? How long should a
like
Standard
45.
45?
Interview up to an hour. I say
See.
that's I
I don't know, man. This depends on
but I
I
also
think it depends on the person because
Yeah.
I think it
I
depends
don't
on
agree
the
with that.
quality conversation too.
right.
Like if it's somebody like you can get an interview done with in 30 minutes without it feeling rushed and and it being organic and you did everything you wanted to ask and they did our thing where they ask us a question and you can get bing bang boom done in 35 minutes. That's
Right.
not bad either. I think like how you said, I think it's dependent on the guest.
Right.
And even on the person's show, if you don't want the show
Right.
to go a certain length, I mean, there's podcasts out there that are 5 minutes long. They hit on it could be a daily podcast where they
Right.
just hit on certain topics for 5 minutes, or it could be a 30-minute long or 15-minute. Personally, for me, and I think we all kind of vary on that, but I don't agree with like an hour long episode. I think they're just too long. And
Just
I
depends on
said
if we have a
just
guest.
I think
just depends.
guest episodes
even
are
then
sometimes
if the
longer
conversation is intimate and
Yes.
we're like really engaged and it like
true. That's true. That's true.
because we've had some guests on where it's like, oh shoot, we're at hour and 15, just because we're so engaged.
And we've also done it where we released 2 episodes. We've split it up into 2,
Part
which
one,
is
part two.
Yeah, which is I think that's a great idea, and it also stretches your content, so you don't have to,
Waste it all in one night.
Yeah, literally.
so.
And I think I think we're fortunate enough to never had a bad guest. And I've seen some podcasts to where what I mean, like you have like a bad guest and they don't know how to cut off the podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they kind of extends a little bit too long, and then you get running conversations that really aren't really
There's actually I've seen we've seen like the viral clips of like interviewers like walking out of podcasts and shit, and like we were very fortunate we haven't had that.
yeah, no, nothing of that.
Yeah, like who was it? I was watching like all that Adam 22 shit's like super big right now, so he's on my Snapchat feed, and I seen one like y'all remember Boonk? I seen
yeah, when he was like
He changed a lot.
drunk or high
he
or
was
something?
like super fucked up, like he was like stumbling over and shit like that. So I'm glad that we were fortunate to not like have.
I've seen people rage quit a podcast. Like it was just a TikTok that I seen. Like this guy was getting interviewed and like he was a smaller actor. I didn't notice him for anything, but so loud. And it was like he got real emotional like about these questions and like got real mad and just was like, you know what? I thought I was gonna come here, have a good time. I'm going through a lot of shit right now. And just like
left.
flipped
But
his
see,
chair.
I feel
and
like
was like, whoa, like
some Funny Marco, like he does that shit on purpose.
I was
my
gonna say
God.
like for,
Like,
for
He's
the
hilarious though.
Like that's how his podcast is. Like
Right.
he fucks with you to see like if you
What's
will,
your-
like what really makes you tick.
And if that's the premise, and the people going on there going know that.
Well, no, he does. They don't know that when they go on there. Like that's his.
Shit, that's
If they don't know, then they don't know.
fucked up.
Like, but like,
But yeah, like yeah, once you find your niche and everything, equipment, then you gotta do tests. You gotta do a bunch of tests, man. You gotta make sure everything sounds good. You gotta make sure everything, if it's flowing good and stuff like that.
Bro, we've had episodes that it wasn't capturing our voices, the microphones weren't on, the video didn't capture the shit. So it's all
it stopped when we thought it was running.
Oh, dude.
we
Bro,
missed
I guess
out like
like
30 minutes of content.
Oh yeah.
so the third or fourth step would be a software that makes sense for your podcast.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
so- So we went through that stage of we had Adobe, we had all the bells and whistles.
You
and
said a what?
Adobe, we had all the bells and whistles
You
and
said
stuff.
a doobie.
Nah. And we had all the bells and whistles of a software, and we utilized it for what we needed it for, and then we realized, hey, look, if we want to be really budget friendly, like that's not doing it. That $300 a year, shit's for the birds. So you got to do research to figure out the most effective way to get good audio and visual once you want to add visual, because let's think about it. Podcasts are usually audio. Like you don't get like they're more.
I don't know, man.
They're started off audio based.
It was audio
Yes.
based.
But
Now-
as of the
nowadays,
last 2 or 3 years,
you have
it's
to-
more
yeah.
prevalent of them being video too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So just stuff like that. Just be aware and realize. Do your research about different hacks or different things you can do to connect to make sure you can get your files together instead of having to splice everything, because editing is a whole nother.
I was gonna say like the editing, the storage of all your video, audio files. I mean that's
That's a lot.
That's
That
a
is
lot.
one thing too. And then if you want a producer for your show, some producers are different. Some people actually like kind of cut and dry their production. It takes them maybe a day or two. Some people it's more lengthy. The automations behind it. If you want
Automations, multiple camera views. If you're inputting that into your show,
I think we should start doing that, honestly. Like putting up maybe somebody else's
Look at
song.
Jacob stressing out now, like, oh shit, that's more work for me.
I'm
to
just
do.
saying though. I feel like that would. I don't know. I mean, we need to be open minded. If we're gonna teach somebody how to do their own podcast, I think we should still be open minded to how to improve our own.
So there actually is a side note, real quick. With AI being so prevalent, there is actually an app for Adobe Suite to where you can have different cameras, different camera views, and stuff like that. And you can just say, use a smart AI, and we'll chop down multiple camera views for you, make sure the audio is all good. Like, does it automatically? I was like, the fuck?
I mean, they did say people aren't going to lose jobs to AI. They're going to lose jobs to people
gotta
who
get
know how to
closer
use
to
AI. Oh, my fault.
You over here just like,
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
but no,
You
like,
alright, brother?
but that's a
Yeah,
perfect
I'm
example
good.
too. Like being mindfulness of the camera.
Yep.
Like, you know, you think you could be doing a great show, but then you realize you're talking into the back of the microphone and you sound like shit.
This is why you wear
Or
headphones.
way too far away.
Yeah.
Or you're like, man, let me tell you about what happened the other day.
I mean,
Jacob.
Who talks like
There goes that
that?
close
First
with
of all?
me.
Jesus.
That's a good point, though. That's a good point. I mean, we've definitely had I think we even had like a guest or two. Like we've had episodes where it's like, fuck, they were like talking to the side of the mic and it didn't catch good, you know. But and even today, no name needs to be dropped, but we had a guest scheduled and it didn't happen, so we had to basically get
on the fly.
It's operating on the fly, and sometimes like
Being
it's
prepared.
easier.
Yeah, it's this repetition of just getting up here and talking.
that makes you nervous, Jacob,
What?
when stuff is not like scripted for you.
Doesn't make me nervous, but it makes me kind of like
Why?
not so much why, but I like to be prepared. So like today, like we usually try to meet up at certain times, and you said 9:30 today. And for me, like being a person that's like prepared or likes to be prepared, like showing up at the same time as a guest, it's like that's no prep time. That's no this time. That's no this. Like I stress out a little bit because I think business. I think no, we should be there at least 30 minutes before and stuff like that. Like this is what goes through my head. So when I'm prepared to have guests, came up with questions and stuff like that, then it's like, oh, we don't. Okay,
Now
what are
have
we going to talk about?
improvise.
Now we got to improvise. Okay.
But I think
know.
where you lack, no offense, I think where you lack that, we all kind of just can do that. So then we'll just pull you in with
No,
us, whether you like it or not.
Right. And I think that's what makes us us.
No, we make us. You.
it's on us.
Yeah,
So I guess it's more so of like the art of we can procrastinate.
yeah, like you yelled at us because we weren't paying attention at first, but then we get off our phone and we start dropping not like so many things that we could actually talk about. Like we went down a whole rabbit hole about the fucking Adam 22 thing. Like, you know what I mean? So it was like,
That's fair.
if
That's
you
fair.
need my brain to flip a switch, it can. It's just, like that old rushy train. Like, it's just, that shit gotta take some time real quick.
I feel it.
Okay, so when you going back to the podcast question, starting the podcast, so of course you have an intro, you have the length of it.
That's another thing too. Like how everybody
Each
can start
episode
one.
you come in a certain type of way.
Yeah.
For the most part, we do the same thing each time coming in.
Right.
We have a sound and the name drops, and then we start the episode.
Yeah.
We even have an outro, really.
Yeah.
So those are couple things you can include
Right.
when you're doing a podcast. Anything
Right.
else inside of that you think? Oh, advertising.
Yeah, if you get advertised, deal with a local company, or like you do it through an app that you use or stuff like that. Those are always available. But for those, you got to reach a certain milestone or a certain number of
Drink
views.
some water, brother.
Sorry,
You sound like you a little hazy in the throat.
But,
He's talking
Bird.
about sponsorships. So if you want to get sponsorships, you got to like, if it's a niche, if you're doing sports betting, okay, reach out to DraftKings. They usually sponsor stuff, and you know, but we haven't been fortunate enough to get a sponsor yet for our podcast, but we will soon, hopefully.
Yes. I'm about to be in the works with Will.
He's open to it.
Yeah.
I know he's open to it.
So that's another question. And then like the speed that you're talking to. Like I know we have information that we want to get out, but when we're like babbling, trying to push it all out.
Sometimes I
and
talk too
you
fast.
are- right.
Oh yeah, I know.
But information is going to come and go. Just let it be clear, precise, and this is what we're telling you. Slow
Right.
it down. You know, everything doesn't have to be rushed. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Then that helps you with your time.
Right.
If we only have 3 questions, we can stretch it out. Kind of give air between conversations.
Right.
You don't have to fill in each like blank spot. You know what I mean? So that's another take on it too.
Another tip, yeah.
What else? What's another tip you would say?
Make sure you like when you have like if you are a podcast that has guests, make sure you're prepared for that guest.
Yeah, definitely. Got to research them. Got to
Research, research is a big thing just in general. Whether it's researching is
topic,
it's its own topic for our podcast because of the fact of sometimes you might have a guest on that you're totally in the dark about that certain job that they do, to where it's like, oh, I gotta, besides doing my research about them, I have to do a research about this whole certain market because. Yeah, you can ask them all these questions, but you also, like, when asking these questions, do you want to be aware of some of these things that go on in this certain niche or market that, pertains to the guests?
Any guests, we would more so ask them, why are you doing this? What got you into this profession?
Yeah.
How long do you think you're going to do this? Any tips for the person that wants to? Yeah, so it's kind of like a repeating cycle of like, why are you doing this? Who, what, where, why?
Right. The 5 W's.
And I think you gotta be able to feel vulnerable.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta be able to talk about something you might not want to talk about, or give information that you might not want to let be known, to get new information out of somebody to have a better episode.
That emotional vulnerability, or just let alone emotional intelligence to be like, okay, you're reading the room. Like, I know I can be open in the space to where it makes somebody else that might not be accustomed to this space to be open and willing to share stuff. Like, you share this, all right, this is something I did or I went through.
And collaborations are key.
Collaborations are huge.
Yeah, because regardless of how big or small you are, never be intimidated to work with somebody whose audience is might be opposite of yours, bigger than yours, and again, or smaller than yours. Just bringing your presence to somebody else's audience is just key in general.
Yeah.
That's how you keep growing.
And early on, that's when you establish, this is what sets me apart from everyone else. This is why I'm doing this. Like, and collaborations always work on both ends, I feel like.
Right.
You have something organic about you, they have something organic about them. So it's like bringing those together and creating another plant in it, per se. Like, that's one way to view it too. So as far as like hosting sites, where would you post your podcast?
I mean, we post ours to Podbean, but there's each hosting site will have something it offers specifically that you would want in a hosting site, whether it's ad marketplace or whether it's price friendly or budget friendly. Like, there's a bunch of different options. It's up to you to do your own due diligence and research those and see what will best fit to your show and your whole idea of what you want to produce. That's the best way I can explain it.
Because Podbean is the
Yes.
platform.
Yes, Podbean hosts.
App.
No, Podbean is the host site. So a host
Hosting
site
site,
is
yeah.
what creates the RSS code for you to have a stream, and that's when you go into Apple and you put your stream code into there. That's how you are released on Apple. Same for Spotify. Same for Google Podcast. Same for Audacity. And same for Amazon.
Amazon,
Music.
Google, Spotify,
Yeah.
YouTube.
So yeah, so
SoundCloud.
you need a hosting site in order to be on those platforms.
How many man hours do you think goes into just a podcast a week? I think that's a good question.
30 hours minimal.
30 hours minimal?
Minimal. But it also depends on how
30
big.
hours of what?
Planning, researching, editing, posting,
I wouldn't say it's that
Communicate.
high.
communication between people.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I mean, because ideally, it's not a job, but it is a job because it's
Yeah,
a
for
hobby that
sure.
you're creating.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So you want to spend daily, what, like 2 hours maybe?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if 2 of those hours can be towards a passion,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that would work. Okay. We're not making any money off of podcasts
No.
yet.
Yes.
But again, going back to sponsorships, selling products,
Yep.
by the way. Go to the
Affiliated marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another thing. You're going to have to be your own salesperson. So networking has to be key. You have to, like, lose the whole being shy of talking to
Yes.
people.
Networking.
Yeah,
like,
that's why I said being vulnerable. Like you gotta be able to reach out to somebody.
I
like,
networked
you know.
yesterday at the driving range. These guys were next to me. One of them was a real estate agent. The other one runs his own small business. But he's like, from how he described it, he's part of a sales company. And this company's been around since like the 60s. And he just sells different products for them. That's all like FDA approved and shit. He's like, but it's just like a side job. I have a full-time job. And just very interesting person. His name's Kevin. His last name was Italian and it was really long. So I had trouble remembering it. But he got down my...
No offense, Kevin.
Yeah, but he got down my contact information,
Kevin
so
Long, last
he
name
might be a
Italian.
guest on the show. But like, just like being open to conversate with people like that, just on a whim, like, hey, this is what I do. This is maybe we can connect because you just never know.
So do you guys think us being on a podcast, outside of that, do you think your personal communication skills have increased
Yes.
since joining a podcast?
Yeah,
Like how you interact with people, or it's kind of
think-
not interview based, but like the questions of asking people.
yes,
Okay.
I wouldn't say they gotten better, but I've sharpened them a lot. I mean, they gotten better, like, but I always felt like I was able to talk to.
You're a people's person, so like
Right.
a natural extrovert, but like.
But now I know
it's
how to
different.
do it. Like,
it's more vast. You have more.
I would say that, but it's more vast and it's more like sharpened.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like,
It's not as
I
sloppy. as a
can talk to
conversation.
anybody low key about anything. Like,
All right.
I'm good.
Okay.
Nice water.
don't be gulping on the mic, man.
Mm-hmm. So okay.
Ski.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like we can go on for like a while to, actually how to start one, how to keep it going, how to, maintain it, how to, make it better. I mean, we started off like we said earlier, like with
Shitty ass
boo boo ass equipment. You know what I'm saying? And then we understood that some of the things that like you use can't work for us, like the clip mics.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that would work for us on a one-on-one situation
yeah.
outside, and like but
And yeah, like to build off that real quick, kind of go down a little rabbit hole. It's to go back to the beginning, basically learning what equipment works for you.
mm-hmm.
Like if you're a one person show, you don't need a big ass soundboard.
yeah,
like
you don't
this
need
with
all of this
mics.
really.
Like, you can literally get a $40 little adapter with 2 wireless mics and connect it to your phone and do it like that.
Amazon.
So the mics pick up a good sound for what you are doing in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the most, if you were a one-man podcast, you would just need to buy a separate phone just for recording purposes
Yeah.
only.
Because that shit takes up a lot.
I mean, the tripod too is real good buy too.
$10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
10
Well,
bucks
you can
with
get the
phone
little
adapter.
one the little one that you got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or like a selfie stand with a ring light. Like
Yeah.
those work too. But yeah, it's
Oh shit, they make selfie stands with ring lights now.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, man.
So it's like a 3-in-1 package
Yeah.
deal.
Man.
I mean, kind of makes sense because a lot of
You
people
be
are-
slaying, bitch. Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, who knows? This could be a little mini series that we do, just topics of how to get a podcast
How
going.
much time you think we're at now?
Probably about 30, 40. So.
Yeah,
I'll say like 20 something maybe. Close,
I don't know.
We'll see in a second though, but
Mental health check time.
sure.
You went to?
Mhm.
All right, Ash.
How you feeling, Jacob?
Hit you with the Uno.
Right,
Reverse.
Uno reverse.
Hold on, before you start, and that's something else, a signature. Like, that's
Yeah.
your signature.
Well, that's why I was saying we have like an outro.
Well, it
Yeah.
technically is kind of like our outro because each episode we kind of touch on our mental health and why it's important.
Right, and it's our signature too because we don't see other podcasts doing this. At least I don't.
How many other podcasts do you listen to though?
2 to 3.
So you need to open up your horizon.
There's different genres of podcasts too. Like
Yeah.
I think if you're on a podcast, it will kind of make sense for you to listen to other podcasts.
Yeah, I feel like I have like not. I mean, I do
you don't
have,
have to, but like
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I do like. I mean, like you said, there's so many different genres that I try to listen to, like a comedy one, like a serious,
Right.
like something that's really happening in the world, like maybe fashion or music or something like that. I feel like I got to listen to different hubs to pick what. Because I mean, we talk about a whole bunch of different shit, so I feel like we have to like low key pick from different.
Be aware.
You know what I mean? Different things and what they do to help us. You know what I mean?
I'm a 7 or 8. I'm 7.5. Let's go 7.5.
7 or an 8.
three numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, right?
Could be a lot of transitioning happening in my life, so it's like me just gauging everything out and gauging like, okay, what will the next 5 to 10 years be like if I do this opposed to this?
You're
And
thinking
just-
far.
yeah,
Why are you thinking so far ahead?
because life sometimes you gotta be aware of what your decisions will reflect in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I decide to do plan A, well, this is how I think it could play out. If I do plan B, this is how I think it could play out. But then you got to take into it account in 5 years your mindset could be this to where this plan didn't work out for you, or your mindset in 5 years could be plan. You chose plan B and it's great for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of
Playing.
get it.
Hey.
It's just a matter of trying to figure that out and gauge that.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
And I don't think that's going to be a decision you're going to make today, like this week. You know what I mean?
I mean, but technically, we are kind of making choices now for our future
For
selves.
future, yeah.
yeah, so it's just a matter of
Definitely.
gauging that out.
Yeah, definitely with you, the decision you have here, if you make this, if it comes to fruition,
yes.
like that is like a gear shifting
Yes.
decision. So that's
Yeah.
big. It's big.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, it's exciting, but also exhausting at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's also variables like I gotta take into account to where you and I take into account and stuff like that. So we'll see.
I hear you.
What about you, big Sea Dog?
See, dog.
I'm at an 8.
Okay.
Yeah, tired, but I'm at an 8. Got my.
He said a
court date.
tired 8.
Yeah, I'm a tired 8. Got a court date this Friday to clear some shit up, and again after that, the wait is finally over. Moving ahead, full steam ahead.
Full steam.
Yep, and then my 2-3 year plan starts at that point.
Going forward, not
Yep.
looking back.
Yep.
And for you, Cliff, don't tell everybody your plan.
You know,
Just
I
do
don't.
it. No.
Just do it. Surprise the fuck out of me.
That's the point. Just like with school, I ain't telling nobody shit. It's better to do everything in silence.
I get the excitement though of telling people like I'm starting this, but some stuff has to be like I'm just gonna do it for me.
Yep.
I'll tell you
Move in
guys after
silence,
once
like
I
lasagna.
achieve. Yeah. Okay.
Shut the fuck up. For the rest of this fucking mental health check, shut the fuck up.
What about you, big O, big Osh,
The big
Kosh, the big fella,
I'm getting real sick of you. I would say.
So big, like 3 or 4 times.
Oscar
Jesus.
Debler? You French?
Are you done?
Are you French? What the fuck?
We're sorry.
I
Man.
think I'm at like a 7. No, I take that back. I'm at 8.5.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Went to
Hey,
Alicia
man,
Keys
that's-
concert yesterday.
Yeah.
She is so breathtaking to see in person. Like, shout out to my wife, but Alicia Keys, that's my celebrity
He said, "Hey."
hall pass.
He said, "If
So-
Swiss ever messes up the beat, holler at me."
Jacob.
All right, we're gonna just cut the episode now. So
The last and final rule is don't be corny.
If Swiss ever misses a beat,
That's a dad joke for you for sure. John, do you want me to go? Or you want to go?
yes, one of you guys.
I would say I'm about a 7.5. I'm still, dealing with my car troubles, so that's it is what it is, But
TikTok for that.
we're going to Put-in Bay this weekend, so this is my first weekend, actually staying there multiple days, multiple hours, I feel like we did it a little. We did a little when we
Little
was out
preview
there.
when we
little
went.
You know what I
day
mean?
trip.
Yeah, we ain't really do too much. We just, we kicked it, but we ain't go like, we ain't go hard in the paint like Flock of Flame and shit.
It's different when you like actually stay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I know, like
Shirt off. You know. What I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. No, I don't know about that. I ain't trying to be like Eric, man. Eric broke his finger last time they was out there, though.
Oof, too much. Too active.
Yeah, too. Well, some dude told Ashley it was going to be soon to be fiance. He proposed later on that month, but he told Ashley that he was going to eat her pussy in the sand.
The dude did.
Yeah, some
Oh.
random dude.
Oh well.
So then Eric was like, "What the fuck did you say?" And then he said it again, and then
I'm with Ash. That face.
Then he
That's
smacked
You
the
got
fuck
me 7 types of fucked up. I mean,
Goodness
you
gracious.
might have to, yeah.
so yeah,
Fight with her,
PTSD. There, no one wants to go from that group no more.
Damn.
So yeah, but I hope that doesn't happen to me, because I already got a fucking fucked up ass fingernail. I don't know if y'all can see. I'm not flicking
falling
you
off
guys.
yet?
I'm not flicking you guys off. I promise. It's almost falling off. It's about it's talking.
Oh.
Yikes.
It's talking.
What about you, big J Dog?
Is everybody man? Big.
Man, bro, that's better than him saying "daddy."
It's like he wants
That's
to say it.
I know that's cringes. That's cringy already.
I don't know. I'm feeling good, guys. I'm feeling good. I feel like all these dad jokes and the Swiss Beats thing. I think I wasn't gonna say a 9, but maybe I'm 8.5. Just because, man, the last 5 minutes really just took me down. No,
Shit hurt my brain.
hurt me. No, I'm doing good. Last week I was mentioning about being kind of scattered, and I think I got a little focused now. Today I got some time to actually. It's Sunday when we record, so got some time off, got some time to focus, and gonna do that. So I'm excited for the rest of the day too. So
What you about to do?
just list some stuff on eBay, just kind of organize the house, just kind of work on that on home base, because every other thing it's like, okay, well, we're gonna go out here, gonna go here, and I like doing things. I really do. I'm going to Put in Bay in 2 weeks, but
That's what you're doing today.
I'm trying to go golfing, but not. Can't
Look at Ash. Hey, Ash. I was like, what?
I can't.
Again, that's therapy, man.
I know.
You tired
So-
of golfing? Did I hear that correct?
No, I'm not tired of it. I love to go golfing, but I just gotta get
You
my.
gotta prioritize.
Yeah,
He said I got
prioritize.
responsibilities.
Yeah,
Responsibilities.
Like,
Shout out Tommy.
Tom Pickles.
But yeah, that's all. I'm 9. I'll go 9. Just 9.
There you go.
All right.
All good things, and thank you guys for listening. And
Oh.
of course, we got merch on Ash's website.
www.creativegeniusbrand.org.
Go
Again,
check
we got
that
some new things coming up in the later month, so stay tuned for that. Golf apparel will be on very soon, as you see on Jacob's head. So
We formulating some plans right now.
we ain't gonna tell them.
But I promise you, it'll look better on you than it'll look better on him. So, cop
Well,
some merch.
Spend another episode of It's on Us.
Real quick though, John, you said a quote earlier. I think really stands with the whole goal and system.
He forgot it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was goals are for people that want to win like once.
Yes.
One win once.
And then a system is for people that want to win continuously.
Nice.
I like that a lot.
So
Little John wisdom.
It's been an episode of It's on
Cookie
Us.
system.
You're.
Check us out.
You're.
Bye, Mom.